Somebody in my chat said, hey, have you seen the pre-order date? And I said, what pre-order date? I am chronically online, and I had no clue.
Your boy is back again. With the other boy, I was told to introduce you as Harry Potter because one person would laugh at that joke.
So fun fact, we actually dressed up as Harry Potter for Halloween this year.
Did you really? Is
Yeah.
that like the first?
So
like the first time you've done that?
Well, I did it when I was like 7, but
I feel like the glasses, it would be a classic move for you to have done multiple
I get called
times.
Harry Potter all the time online,
Yeah.
but the thing that I say is I used to teach middle school, and that was the joke that like the 6th graders made, and I'm like, come on guys, we can
try
be more
harder.
original than that.
Yeah,
But
that's
with the baby
sad.
this year, we dressed up as, 2 Harry Potter students with a mandrake screaming, so it was fun. Great pictures there.
That's a fun time. Alex of Clever Cuban Cards is here with us again. Michael is enjoying the fall foliage of Gatlinburg, Tennessee. The old Smoky Mountains, getting himself a little moonshine. He actually probably won't have anything to drink. He doesn't drink much. But that being said, I heard a scary story. On their way out there yesterday, apparently something flew up and hit their windshield, just destroying it. I have not seen it. I'm waiting to see pictures.
I want to see pictures.
And then they got there, and there's no hot water either. Like, so they get to the cabin, no hot water, have someone
windshield.
come out. No, the guy comes out, leaves, still no hot water. It's the next day. As of this morning, I got a message from his wife maybe an hour ago saying they finally got hot water. So,
Wow.
You know what? We're having a great time here in the studio. I feel bad, but Mike will be joining us at some point during this. He said he was still going to try and jump on. Alex and I have done our best to curate the content in a way that leaves you with nothing but nonstop entertainment on this episode, okay? Whether it's educational, it's funny, you might cry. I don't know why you would, but you could. I'm not in charge of your emotional well-being. That being said, let's talk real quick. Let's jump into the first thing, the black and white, because I am in the process.
It's out of stock.
I know. I'm so mad. Okay, so black and white is Topps product. Tell us a little bit about this.
It's a really cool product. It's think about like Stadium Club type photography, but it's an online exclusive release, so you're not going to have it in most hobby shops, things like that.
Is it always like that in your
It
experience?
always has been that.
Okay.
It's always been an online release. It's super high demand. People love it. It's got really, really cool pictures, nice parallels, autograph per box. It's very, very high demand. People love it. And my complaint is I was on stream last night. I was doing my typical, whatnot single streams. And somebody said, hey, are you grabbing any black and white tomorrow? And I said, what are you talking about? Yeah. And they said,
is it come again?
They said it releases tomorrow. And I said, what? And I went to the Topps website. It was not on the website. I went this morning. I have a screenshot of the website. Let's see what time it was at 9:45 a.m. 9:45. It's
there.
not on the website.
Is it usually there before the drop?
They normally will advertise it, especially in the same way that they're advertising, Topps Chrome SpongeBob.
Yes, I've been there.
They will say, hey, this is coming out. You got the pre-order at this time. Come grab it. Like that type of thing. There was nothing on the website. And granted, when I logged on at 11:55, it was there.
Yeah.
But no communication. I hadn't seen an email. Maybe I missed an email. I will admit that may be possible.
I won't admit that.
I
You've
didn't
never
see
done
anything. And it's a super highly demanded product that they only have on the website. And if you don't tell people that you're going to have a release for a product that then sells out, as you saw right now, in a matter of 2 minutes.
If that, yep.
If that.
It was still 12 o'clock when I was trying to put a case in my cart, and I didn't get it. So
you then have no chance to get it.
Yeah.
And I love black and white. I want to get it every year for myself, for the business, etc. But you need to tell people that you have products that are coming out, and I know for sure you are going to have people today when I post a video talking about getting this, that they're going to say, wait a minute, black and white came out today? What are you talking about?
Okay, so I was going to try and give Topps like a little, maybe a little credit here. I'm just checking. What is today? November 6th. Okay, so this is weird. I don't know where that person found out about Topps Black or the black and white product, because I've talked about this for non-sport releases where it's like I get messages from guys being like, hey, are you about to grab, the new Disney or Marvel or whatever it is that's coming out? And I'm like, what are you talking about? I haven't been allocated for it yet. I haven't seen any like pre-release stuff coming out. You're like, yeah, there was a post. I'm like, where did the post? There was a post somewhere. I always hit like the, hey, you know, notify me, like text me or something. Not once have I ever gotten a text, by the way. Do you get those? I don't think that's a real thing. I don't think it's a service.
The notify me doesn't work. I mean,
the notify me does
not. They say it'll be a thing. I'm looking in my email. They sent an email today at 12:01 p.m. to new pre-order black and white. Once it's sold out.
So the case I was going to make for them was that what I was told was check their Twitter on Monday.
Okay.
On Monday is like they'll make, and I believe they've started posting this other places as well. But on Monday they will make like a releasing this week.
They do that on their stories on Instagram as well.
Okay,
like,
exactly.
I didn't see anything.
I'm looking at it now. It's not on there.
Yeah,
it wasn't on there. I don't know what happened with this one. It's really interesting how, and I give Tom's a lot of credit, but you know sometimes we got to call him out too. It's like this is the biggest card maker by far. You know, Fanatic/Topps. How are we like letting like these things? They're not little things, but there's very big releases of a product, like something that's going to potentially make them millions of dollars. I would assume. How does that get slipped through the cracks? Where it's like, oh yeah, we're not even going to let people kind of give a heads up on this coming out.
And I mean, on one hand, it sold out in 2 minutes without them saying anything.
Oh yeah, so, obviously some people knew.
They are making their money regardless. Yeah. But for the average collector who, and I know I'm going to have guys in my chat coming in and saying, I didn't know that this was coming out. What the heck? I wanted to get a box. I wasn't able to get a box. And let's see, you know, next Monday, you guys can look and see what boxes are reselling for compared to what they retail for, because I guarantee you it's going to be significantly higher. They are not doing a good job at advertising. There's no calendar for releases. And I understand it's a little fluid in terms of when things come out. Cosmic Chrome, one of the best sets that Topps has.
Oh, yeah. I like that.
When does it come out? When is pre-order? Do you know?
I don't know.
November 11th.
Is that when it is?
It's in 5 days.
Really?
And you have nobody. I have not seen anything. Again, somebody in my chat said, hey, have you seen the pre-order date? And I said, what pre-order date? I am chronically online. I am chronically looking at sports cards. And I had no clue.
Still had no idea. Hey, trust me, I feel your pain. I 100% get it. I am. There's not an excuse to be made at this point. I am still trying because it's like you update it. Do you ever do that? Like you stay on the Topps website, it says sold out, and then you keep refreshing, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, available again.
Probably because they canceled some bot orders.
Yeah, I would think it's either that or like they had someone add it in their cart or something. But yeah, I'm still trying to get it. In
my email right now, my email confirming my order for 6 boxes came in before Topps' email saying these are now available for pre-order.
I'm just trying to get a box because I think it looks really cool, and the fact that you said there's like on-card Ohtani.
It's the first time they're doing on-card autos in black and white. It's always been sticker autos up until this point. It's an incredible set.
That's why it would be popular.
Yep,
but
such a cool set. Has some
we're
of the
just
coolest
asking,
cards.
maybe let everybody know. You know, just a little thing.
Equal playing field. That's all I want.
I think that's a fair request. So that is a release. Obviously, we're still trying to get it, but. I wanted to talk a little bit about before we and I'm kind of jump around a little today. I have a box, by the way. I brought this box of it's a Panini Donruss Costco, or was it Sam's Club?
It's Costco.
It was Costco. Yeah, Costco bundle. I was like, I've always wondered, is there anything in these things?
Yeah.
You know, like
you can pull down towns.
I want to do it, like just while we're talking. It doesn't have to be like we don't have to put all our focus on it because a lot of times I hate that. I've told Mike several times,
well, especially on a podcast where your audience and some people are watching on YouTube. Hello, YouTube.
Hey, welcome to YouTube.
But most people are listening as a podcast. Don't cut yourself, Jesse.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you are on YouTube. If you're not,
leave a 5-star review.
Just give us a thumbs up. Point at your radio and give it a thumbs up. Yeah. All right, so I'm going to try and open this while we talk about other things. One of the things I wanted to talk about was that Beckett thing. Do you want to go there? Or do you want to
Let's do it. Yeah, I have some thoughts there.
Okay. So Dr. Beckett, the originator, I guess, of Beckett Magazine and all that, one of the few hobbyists that we have never actually had on the show, which is odd because I don't think Mike and I have anything necessarily like against him. It's just never happened. That being said, Neo Cards and Collectibles put out a post this morning, and I was watching it as I'm getting into the office, and I'm just kind of like shocked at some of the things that I'm hearing, and I wanted to play that we could comment on. All right, so this is in reference to shill bidding and what is being defined as defensive shill bidding.
Yes.
So let's listen to some of these comments.
The problem is when they don't even pay. They'll bid it up. If they win, they don't pay. And then they've established a comp in some kind of bizarre way. But they're in a situation where they're way above market. That's the manipulation. To me, defensive shilling as opposed to manipulative offensive shilling. Defensive shilling in the sense of bidding on your own stuff. It's not shilling if you intend to pay. You say, I'm going to buy it for that. I'm not bidding it up. I'm saying at that price, count me in. I'll buy it back.
A number of people came to me say, my friends, we bid on one another's items just to protect them because we're not going to let some other idiot get a really good deal.
Protection is below this implicit reserve. That does not mess with comps. In fact, comps would be messed up if you didn't have that. I've actually put in something for another friend with PWCC a long time ago, and they were incorrectly listed, and I did not call them. And my concern for reputation, I didn't bid. And so they went for less than 20 cents on the dollar. Okay. The problem.
All right. So.
Nonsense.
The comments that are made here are they're pretty wild for someone who I typically have just assumed, and maybe I'm wrong, is more of a conservative take in the hobby. Like I wouldn't think you would hear comments like there are reasons why it's okay to shill bid. Like comps would be messed up if you didn't do that.
Absolute nonsense.
You go ahead first, and I'll jump in there.
As somebody who I have sold, in the last 90 weeks, I have sold over 35,000 cards.
Wait. Like, not at 35,000 individual sales, though, right?
Individual sales.
No way.
Of whatnot.
Yeah, okay.
So,
but that's still, all right.
As the concept of defensive bidding, where I have said many times when a card sells, I was like, dang, I would have bought it back for that price.
Yes.
Which is true.
Absolutely.
But you can't put a card for sale and buy your own card.
Correct.
You are... The whole point of putting a card on sale, if you're going to auction it off, if you are going to say, hey, I'm going to send this to auction, and the market is going to decide what this card is worth. If you, the person who is auctioning this card off, comes in and says, I'm going to set a floor because, well, I buy it back at that price, then you should have started the auction at that price.
Or with a reserve.
Yes.
You know, if that's the case, you should have had a reserve on there. There's a reason why most people don't do a reserve, because it kind of pushes some people away. They don't typically go for it. So you can't have your cake and eat it too. You need to have the reserve if that's what you're wanting. But on the flip side, if I'm going to put a card up for sale and it's not going for what I was hoping it was going to go for,
tough luck.
I'm not viewing that as, oh, well, comps are going to be messed up.
No, comps are going to be accurate because that's what the card is worth.
That's what the demand was for at that time. Because yes, you could argue that, oh, well, some people didn't see it. There was a lot of people who didn't see that card out there. Well, that's because they weren't looking for it, because their demand might not have been there. Now, granted, technical issues take place, and I do understand that. If something is like listed incorrectly, that's
but then you call PWCC,
well.
said,
Exactly.
I'm not going to call them. Like, no, you call them and you say, you made an error in listing my card. I would like you to pull it down and correct that, as opposed to saying, oh, I'm just going to shill bid my own card.
And that's a bold move, by the way, for Dr. Beckett to make some comments about doing shill bidding with PWCC, who was kind of at the time
known for shill bidding,
for that happening. To make a case where, you know, there was a circumstance where it was okay. And the other guy mentioning how he's got his friends that'll go out and bid on a card, so that I don't even
that is the definition of shill bidding.
So some idiot doesn't get a good deal. Like, why are we calling people idiots? Yeah. I mean, you don't know who the guy was bidding on it. And two, why can't they be? If you want a good deal, everyone wants a good deal. Why couldn't they have a good deal? I agree. The only reason is because you don't want your card to go for that amount, so you're shill bidding it, and you're trying to make an excuse on why that's okay.
It is just ridiculous. And I've had it happen before where I have, because I, again, sell a huge volume of cards.
Yes.
Where I sell a card and I am fairly good hobby friends with the person who buys it. And I have had that person say, hey, you know, great example. I had a Francisco Lindor, Topps Chrome Black, Depths of Darkness. Super cool case hit card. It sold for like $16 and it's a $50, $60 card. Easy.
Oh, that.
Yeah. And my friend bought it, and he said, hey, do you want to buy it back? And I said, no, you got a huge win.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to take that card.
To be fair, you could have bought it back. I mean, like after it's
full,
all over.
For full comp, I could have. But
yeah.
I'm not going to buy it back from him for cheap because he said, "Oh my God, you're going to get cooked on this card." If I get cooked on the card, so be it.
Yeah.
It's the guys that complain nonstop about saying, "Oh, this card is selling for all you're getting." You have plenty of wins. If you want your wins, you have to take the losses. You can't artificially inflate the price of a card just because you think that it should be worth that. If you're selling the card, you should not be bidding on the card.
I 100% have like firsthand experience with this just recently. I mean, and like you said, you've seen this a lot. That Remy card I talked about on Monday. I had an offer for $4,000. It was up for the last week, and it ended up selling at $3,500. It was at like $3,000 for a while up until like the last few minutes of the auction, and I'm just like, I want to go over here and shill bid this. I want to go bump this thing up. I want to get somebody to raise the price on here. So I was like, man, that would be nice. It would really be nice. And fortunately, it at least got bumped up to 35. But I'm thinking the whole time, yeah, that's just the price of doing business. That's my mistake because I was greedy and thought, oh, well, I can get a little bit more. I'm not going to take the guarantee. Yes, I would have loved it. We all would. But at some point, it's like, well, it's not fair to everybody else that I'm going to cheat the system.
If you wanted more for the card, you need to start it for more.
Exactly.
I hear it all the time with guys, people that complain live selling, whether it's breaks, singles, etc., saying, "Oh, chat, we're not even halfway there. Wake up, chat. What are we doing?" The card is worth what somebody's willing to pay for. If you want more than that, you need to start it for more.
Exactly.
Plain and simple.
And that's it. We're beating a dead horse to some degree, but I do want to emphasize in breaks it is very bad. Like you're saying, it is terrible. And if you're in a room where that's happening nonstop, I will say that I noticed. I did some bidding on some auction some spots not too long ago. I noticed I was kind of playing it up. I was being silly, but in hindsight, I'm like, man, I made a lot of comments about like how, oh man, that was not what I was hoping for, or whatever the case may be. And I'm like, even though I was kind of like acting,
joking a little bit,
joking, I was like, I said it to the point where in hindsight, if I wasn't used to my streams or how I did it, I was like, oh, I wouldn't care for that. Like so I've made a conscious effort to try and do better. If I decide to auction, that's the risk you take. And the room doesn't want to hear about how, oh man, I got cooked on that one. Just go on to the next or stop doing it.
And at the end of the day, and this is where I'm a firm believer in this, all of the guys that are, myself included, selling cards, doing things like that, I win more than I lose.
Yeah, right.
And anybody that's complaining about how much a card is selling for, you don't hear them. Whenever I have a card sell for low, do I wish that I had gotten, what I had bought for it or closer or whatever?
Sure.
When it goes for 30% comp? Absolutely. But you know what I do? I say, congrats on the awesome win. If you're going to flip it, you're going to make a lot of money. And if you're getting it for your PC, even better, you just got an awesome deal on a card for your collection. Because at the end of the day, I know that I'm making more than enough money based on the cards that I'm flipping to pay my bills, to feed my family, etc.
Absolutely.
And whatever. You take the losses, you get the wins, so be it.
All right, so that's defensive shill bidding, if you've never heard of it before. While you may be wondering, is Jesse opening a pack of crisps in the office?
Yes.
Why would I say crisp? I don't know, but
Cam Ward.
Put that card away. We've decided to open up the Costco bundle, the Panini Donruss football. A Mason Taylor throwback rated rookie. I don't know if we're gonna find anything, but I thought it would still be fun. I got this because I've seen nothing but Pokemon bundles, and I buy those all the time. I was like, I don't buy this. I mean, honestly, when I bought it at Costco for like $50, 55, I went to Google. They were already on there for like 100.
Yeah,
it's crazy that how this whole system works. But I thought it would also be fun if we were talking about cards, and then one of us just like pulled some giant thing. So,
Shooter Sanders throwback.
Hello,
and a optic Travis Hunter.
If you get anything good, it's mine.
It's yours. This is your box.
Here's the thing. I'll cut you in. I'll cut you in. I'll get you all the other. I'll give you the base. That's a good deal.
I don't do football.
I'll give you the base. All right. So let's see. We talked about that PSA conspiracy theories. I think this is interesting. This is one of Alex's topics, and some of them that you mentioned we've talked about before, but a couple of these we hadn't. So I figured we'd talk a little bit about this.
So I've just heard a lot of people talking. I heard a specific example on TikTok the other day about PSA offers. So In case you don't know, PSA is doing their whole thing where when you do a grade reveal, if you have cards that are vaulted with them, or you can scan a card and then send it in to get vaulted with them, that they will offer to buy your card.
Yep.
And some of the offers are really, really strong. I heard a video the other day on TikTok where somebody was saying, you know, I had a Michael Jordan that was in a PSA 9, it's a $200 card, and in a PSA 10, it's an $8,000 card. Which there are some Jordans in older 90s cards that's the case because it's really hard to hit a 10.
Okay, you don't think it was like exaggeration?
I don't think it was exaggeration. Think about Derek Jeter SP rookie.
Yeah.
PSA 10 is 300,000 and PSA 9 is way less than that.
Okay, fair.
They said, oh, well, PSA is going to buy that and then they're going to crack it and give it a 10 because then they're going to take cards that they know are going to grade well, give it a 9. They're going to offer to buy it back for less than it's worth. So
then they're going to crack it and then regrade it,
and then they get to keep all the profit. And that's one of the theories, which I say is nonsense. Do you really think that PSA is going to risk its reputation on $7,800?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Additionally, the PSA offers, and I have a whole YouTube video that's going out on this today, but the PSA is not buying the crazy, crazy high-end cards. Generally, it's stuff between $10 and $1,000. My big expensive cards, PSA does not have offers on ever. They're not doing that because it's not PSA buying these cards. It is their repack partners who are purchasing these cards. PSA is the middleman that is doing the actual transaction. The repack partner says, hey, I would buy, these Shohei Ohtani cards at 95% comp. And so that in their algorithm goes in and they say, okay, cool, we'll offer that on the card. And if they take it, then the repack partner is the one who pays for that. So that gets to the other conspiracy theories of, PSA is preparing for something. They know that there's going to be a market jump and they're stockpiling cards. No, they're not. Your ultra modern cards are 99.9% of them are going to go down over the next year.
Sure. Yeah.
PSA stockpiling stuff? No, they're not trying to stockpile. They are buying it and they are going to get these cards. If you are a repacker, you are getting your cards into repacks within weeks, because if not, you're going to run into what Jeff Wilson had, which is he has his graded grails and they say the floor is this amount, and all of a sudden you have cards in there that are not worth that amount because the market changes so quickly. If you're buying these cards, you need to move them quickly.
Well, and the thought, too, of these conspiracy theories is just, it boggles the mind when you think about a company of their size being able to do something like this on a mass scale. Because you couldn't, say you have a theory oh, well, they only do it occasionally, one-off. It's not worth it to do a one-off, where they went in and they bought a card at a PSA 9 and then cracked it and regraded themselves. What's the point? Why take that risk? So then you're thinking, oh, well, then they would do it at a large scale. Yep. And if you're going to do that, how is it that there's no definitive, conclusive proof that that is happening, right? We have so many questions and I guess theories on how all of this stuff works because we don't have a window to watch the graders do their job and see the complete process from beginning to end. So we try and make up a reason why it could be the way it is. But at the end of the day, Occam's razor, the simplest explanation
is
tends to be the right one. It's simple, but at the same time, it is more fun. I will say it's more fun to make up a conspiracy theory or to believe in one. But the idea that they're hoarding cards because they think there's going to be a market, pop or something like that, you could make that comment for just about anybody. You could make a comment to anybody, any business that thinks that the market is going up, so they are getting more grades, but that doesn't mean they're doing anything wrong either. Yeah. It doesn't mean they're going out there and trying to manipulate the market.
And that's the third conspiracy, though, is that they're trying to prop up the market by saying, okay, we're going to pay this high percentage and keep the value of these cards high, et cetera. Mm-hmm. But to that I say, Collectors owns PSA and Card Ladder. Yep. These sales are not going into Card Ladder. These are not being logged from a market perspective.
Sure.
So, you're providing liquidity, which I think is a huge win. I have had plenty of complaints about PSA in the past. Mm-hmm. The liquidity of the PSA offers is massive. Massive, massive. I said I was going to grade a submission with SGC because I was upset about PSA raising their prices. Mm-hmm. I did a PSA offer. I had a sub that popped.
Yeah.
I sent 106 cards to PSA. I'm like, okay, whatever, I'm in.
Sure.
They got me.
Yeah, exactly.
But the
It
liquidity,
worked.
you can't, it's hard to argue against. And saying that it's propping up the market. No, it's not. Repacks are propping up the market, but it's not propping it up because there's value enough that they are able to buy those cards at that high percent. And anybody who's, and what it is mostly dealers who are upset about this. And I am somebody who, I make my living off of selling cards. It's harder for me to buy slabs right now because I think that they are more liquid than ever. You're able to do PSA offers, you have repackers, etc. If you can't compete, go do something else. If you can't take the heat, get out of the kitchen. And what it is you have like dealers who are upset. And it was the same thing with repackers when they started to come in saying, oh my God, I can't walk around the show anymore and buy cards for 75% comp because repackers are coming in and buying them at 95%. It's the same thing. It's just at a broader, more like a larger scale because it's via the PSA app.
Yeah.
And people are just upset that they can't get cards at a good deal anymore. But guess what? It's good for the collector. And it's good for the average man or woman in the hobby because you're able to liquidate your cards more easily for a better price with no fees.
It is one of these, again, it's a catch-22 because we all want to be able to buy cards cheap, but we all want to sell cards high.
Yep.
Okay. End it there. Do we have to keep beating a dead horse? Because, yes, there's going to be people.
It's the hobby, yes.
Yeah, exactly. We do, and we will. And that's what this podcast is about. Thank you very much. But no, it is one of the I think truisms of the hobby. You will always have people that absolutely love it and then they absolutely hate other aspects of it at the exact same time.
We love to complain.
There's a lot of it in there. But at the same time, call a spade a spade. And at the end of the day, we typically tend to move on, get over a lot of these things because it is conspiracy.
Because the next conspiracy comes up.
Yeah, exactly. Because we found a new one and we've taken off our tinfoil hat and then put it back on with a new shiny parallel to it. So it's different now. But yeah, I tend to agree that I think what PSA does on the scale of the hobby is good. Yep. I don't think there's anything nefarious going on. This would have been my take before they started a sponsorship with the show, by the way. I know there's going to be comments like that, but
always
it doesn't matter because there's nothing that has been proven to me otherwise, right? Like you can make claims, but provide something to back that claim up other than I heard it from a guy.
Yep.
So that's all. Let's see. What, by the way, did you pull anything?
I got the Travis Hunter red optic. I got a Kyle Hamilton Pro Bowl jersey relic. It's cool.
What the heck?
You gave me the good pack.
Dang it, man.
I had the Shadur Sanders on the optic throwback rookie.
Give me your cards. You have
Cam Ward rookie.
Dang it, dude. You got a lot.
Oh, and a Quinshon Judkins green. Which, by the way, last week, you guys not knowing who Quinshon Judkins was?
Oh, I knew. I was testing Mike.
Of course.
Mike didn't know. I knew all along. Malachi Starks.
No.
Are these not numbered anyway? Like,
no.
Are there no numbered cards?
I think there are some numbered ones, but like that's like in that box you're getting a couple of optic previews.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and those ones aren't numbered. There are numbered versions. We just didn't pull any.
I like this insert. Bomb Squad.
Yeah.
Rome.
Odunze.
I was gonna say Odunze. Mm-hmm. I knew that the whole time. Jaden Higgins. It's a black.
Ooh, that's cool.
Is it? I mean, is that a low numbered? I mean, in tops it's out of 10 typically. I don't know what that means here.
I don't know if it is actually black or that's just how the rookies look. I don't know.
That's fair. Do you see? Are my eyes deceiving me? Is that like really?
Oh yeah,
that's such
that
a bad.
Is jacked up. The bad cut at the top.
It's like at an angle, like
yeah,
like there's rough. A peaked roof at some point on that card.
Yeah.
Then my Mason Taylor throwback and my yeah. So didn't end up making.
You still got a downtown.
Oh, I forgot the downtown, the giant card. Do people care about these?
Yeah, people buy them.
Do they really?
Last year they went for crazy numbers.
Really?
This year I'm sure. Let's see who you pull. I'll look it up.
Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna do this, and then we're gonna move on to next topic. Mike, I did get a text just now.
Not showing up.
It wasn't meant to be. He said he's terrible reception, which granted that is the case
in Gatlinburg.
pretty often. Yep. Yeah. And with everything else going on, it sounds like it just wasn't going to happen. So, Mike, you were missed. You're missing great content as we rip cards on the pod, which I've given you a hard time about 1,000 times. So,
you got Stafford.
Matthew Stafford with
$14.
No way, really? 14? Okay.
14.
We're well on our way to breaking even here.
The Travis Hunter is like a $15, $20 card, so you broke even.
Baby, that's what I'm talking about. all right, we're quitting the pod. Now I'm just going to go out to Costco and buy bundle boxes for my living.
Clear out the whole pallet. Be a flipper.
All right, let's see. So Mike's off the table. Do card shows need a change? I'm raising this question specifically because I'm going over to Dublin in UK here in February. I've been in talks with some of my buddies out there over at Third Down out of the UK. They set up at the London Card Show. Yep. The London Card Show is the biggest show in the UK. They have it, I think it's once a quarter. If I'm not, it could be bi-monthly, honestly, but I thought it was once a quarter. Anyways, they just had it. He sent over some video of what it looked like, their booth and setup before the show. Now, first off, when you go to, say, the National, which is the biggest show in the U.S., what do you imagine? Like, what do the tables look like to you? Well, like, what's in your head?
Generally, it's going to be a table with a tablecloth. Probably has some branding because a big show, most of the guys that are set up are big enough to have some sort of brand within the hobby. So tablecloth and then bunch of showcases on top of it. And that's kind of it.
That's your standard, your standard show. The post that he sent me was, it looked like a hobby shop on the floor. Like they had shelving. They had these
a lot of guys do have that now.
Really nice covers. They had it was like hangers, like where you could go up as if you were at a shop and just grab a hanger off the wall or something. It was the professionalism of that setup. I told him before the show ever went live, I was like, this is something the whole hobby will be morphing into, in my opinion, over the next decade. At least those who are really serious about it. Because you look at the card show now, and that is, your definition is spot on. It's guys who, they'll put out a cloth. Maybe there's some logos on there. Sometimes there's not. I don't know how many tables I went to at the National this year where I was literally like trying to tell someone, hey, we're over at this table. Yeah. And I'm like, where's you don't even have branding anywhere. I would argue that those setups are much larger than most of the setups you would find outside the States. So to see how serious they were taking it, how professional they were doing, and not to say it's always been like this, but they said at this show, he 3 to 4x the most they've ever done at any previous show. Yep. Nothing else different. It wasn't like there wasn't like a lot more product or anything like they have product, but they had product at previous shows too. But the fact is they had just such a popular look, or I don't know, you have confidence in people that spend money on themselves, right? Like there's more confidence in someone who's walking around in a suit and a Rolex watch than shorts and a t-shirt.
As Jesse looks at himself in a shorts and a t-shirt.
I just described myself. And I'm wearing my Pixel watch. So it tells the time, okay? And it has text messages. Try your Rolex now. But that being said, there's a lot of confidence, I think, that gets built in with a setup like that. And it just makes me think, okay, yes, you're going to put in a little bit more money. But it's not devastating. It's not a lot more. If guys knew that if they set up in a way like that they were going to bring in more customers, more foot traffic, more dollars at the end of the day, why wouldn't you see more people doing that? And that's, if you look at any of these like expos, like the big expos for whether it's CES or any other like convention, when they go around filming these things, I like to I've seen a few YouTube videos where it's like they're touring the toy convention. Yep. There's one where it's like there's a paper convention. But I'm looking at all of these, and they're very professional setups. Nobody's out there with just like their tables and their, a couple booths that have their setups where cards are just laid across the table, and you got a couple of people sitting in recliners back behind them.
It's the same thing, though. What it is those are all corporate booths. Go to the National, and you go to the Topps booth, the Panini booth, or the eBay booth, or the whatnot booth. Those are all massive, high production, like very, very intentional.
Sure.
Big value.
Well, and to be fair, I am not describing that.
No, I know you're not. But what I'm saying is that I think the difference within the hobby, and this is where you're looking at a CES or at a paper convention, everybody that is an exhibitor there is a corporation. They are a company that is trying to the difference within the hobby is that it is a hobby for so many people But I think at the
But
large shows,
you would say though, at the National specifically, most of those are some kind of LLC at least, right? Like it's not like individuals like you would see at a local card show.
yes and no. But like at a local card show, you'll see me. I'm an individual. I'm an individual, but I'm an LLC.
But that's what I mean. That's a local one though. If you were at if you're at the National, which is that's the comparison I'm making, is like at the biggest show that you have, you put your best foot forward and you go all out. And that's what I think a lot of other corporate or other, not hobbies, but I mean, businesses, people that are trying to make money on what they like and care about and are passionate about, they will go out and say, hey, I should probably, dress the part of what I'm trying to convey here, which is success and fun and whatever that may be. I think that we as a hobby have yet to really push that forward, that mindset forward.
I think you've seen some people, like I'll use the card shop example. There are card shops that are starting to do the like standing up displays so that you can walk through, like at Cards HQ. I don't know if you've been down.
Yes, yeah, I have, and that's very similar to what their display was at the London show.
And now we're seeing, they had some of those, Cards HQ had some of those displays at the National this year. I think that you have the bigger guys who are more trying to make it that.
Yes.
And then you also have the guys there are plenty of guys that have had a booth, and this is part of the challenge with the Nationals. If you have had a booth previously and you've been coming to the National for the last 30 years, there are guys who that's one of, if not the only show that they do all year.
Yeah.
But they are a legacy person who has been setting up at the National for the last 30 years. And so for them, it's a business, it's something that they do, but they are not trying to do anything above and beyond. They're just trying to set up, sell their cards. And
they don't care if anybody remembers their name at the end of the day.
And at the end of the day, most of these guys are still selling a lot of cards. And so, sure, could there be the upside of getting more? Absolutely. And I think you're correct. I think that you should. If I got a booth at the National or Fanatics Fest this year, I absolutely would try and find a way to elevate the experience if you are going to come to see my cards, to talk to me, etc.
Yes.
But if you are just somebody who is showing up and doing your thing and it's good and that's great, I think you have a lot of people that will rest on their laurels just because they can.
I agree. And I don't think we'll ever see if we continue with the tradition of the hobby as
a hobby.
Every man's hobby. Yeah. It's not an actual corporate event, even as it becomes more and more corporate. You will probably never see everybody change. Yep. But I do think it's a fine argument to make that if you differentiate yourself in a positive way, you can see actual net benefits with not much investment. You're not risking a ton by doing something that different.
And that goes for all of business, in my opinion, that if you need to ask yourself, what am I providing that somebody isn't? Why is somebody coming to my booth versus the guy next to me? Why are they going to come and do business with me versus the other person who's here?
Can you imagine being set up like that? Like you are an actual card shop with like nice, stands, and you've got like covered cloth tables that it looks like it's actually maybe like a finer restaurant or something like that. If you had all of these things and then next to you is the guy who just has like his table and cloth and there's no real, there's nothing really showing. But if there's nothing really showing a effort and you are next to someone who has all the effort, where are people going to go? I mean, like they may go to you because they're like, well, maybe I'll find a good deal. But once they have flipped through all your things, they're not going to stick around. They're not going to like try and find something else that they weren't necessarily wanting to find before that. So,
but your challenge there is that you're going to have, to that point, you've got the Jeff Wilsons of the world, who have the Cards HQ set up, super fancy, nice, etc. At the same time, the guy next to him doesn't have the super fancy setup, but like if they're set up in the same way that they do in their card shop, they don't negotiate on price.
Yeah. Okay.
Like the price is the price is the price, and I understand from a card shop perspective, it's hard to negotiate and do those things.
Yeah.
But the guy next to you who might not have the big fancy setup, who might just have the, $100 banner that you can buy off of Etsy.
Yep.
Like they might be able to provide what are you providing that's different? Yes, you might not have the optics, but you do have the price. And at the end of the day, as a consumer, what are you going to go for? Some guys are going to go for the fancy setup. Other guys are going to say, I want to go to the guy that's going to give me the best price.
I can get that. I can get behind it. It's just that when I make the comparison to, like, say, CES or these other business expos, it's because I would venture to say at a lot of these individual card shows, a lot of these guys who are just there, they don't have any like corporate branding or they're not set up fancy. There's probably a lot of those guys who are making more money than some of those corporate setups will make over that same time. Like if they're looking for pre-orders or whatever the case may be, there's money coming in. Why not, differentiate yourself a little bit more? And that was the argument I wanted to make, was like, okay, well, obviously it had an effect in this situation, but I think the thought of it is if I can do something at a small investment to greatly increase my chances of getting noticed, why wouldn't I do it? So, and I feel like if that's the case, then you're going to see a lot more people probably go in that similar direction.
To me, it raises the question, is the corporatization of the hobby a good thing or a bad thing?
You think that's corporatization, though, to get I guess like a better setup, to look better? I
think that if you are going to the level and extent that you are most likely talking about, I think probably, because I think that the regular guy or the person who does it on the side and has an LLC and runs it as a business and does all this and that, I think a lot of people view that as it's the same thing with the corporatization of the local card shop. That you look at the Card Vault by Tom Brady. They are, I think, becoming, in my mind, the poster child of the corporate card shop.
Oh yeah, I could see that.
They are going to be nationwide, and they are doing huge business, and props to them for it.
Sure.
It's very different than what a lot of people grew up on, where it is the mom and pop shop that is. And I like that Topps is making people have the nicer shops, or they're making them say, you need to be presented in a certain way. It needs to look like this. I like that there are some standards, because we want the hobby to be welcoming, not the old ratty store where there's 4 rows piled up to the ceilings everywhere. Yeah. There's a balance, but I don't know. I think so much of the hobby is carried by people who do it as a hobby, whether or not that business is a hobby.
Sure.
And I think that those big booths, in order to invest in the supplies and material and things, and the ability to bring those things with you to a show.
Sure. Yeah.
Because these are large national shows, et cetera. This is not the local small little show here that you drive to on the weekend.
Sure.
Those big shows, you need to have a greater level of investment and commitment to doing. And I think that is just those are corporate shows, which should and will continue to have those big setups. And I think your local shows will probably continue to have the more regular, everyday man setup.
Let me ask you though, before we move on, if you had the choice between going to your nice corporate LCS and going to the dark, dingy, the one of the old days, obviously you're probably choosing the newer one, I would guess.
In a vacuum, yes. I think that there's a lot of factors that go into that.
For sure. I think that no one's saying, I'm not making the argument that you have to corporatize your LCS or your setup.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, if Shep wanted to go and set up at one of these shows and did the exact same thing, yes, there's going to be some additional costs.
Yep.
But I would argue, like, all this stuff is reusable. So you're making, like, it amortize over a number of years, however you want to.
It's a write-off.
Talk to your accountant. But ultimately, I think that he would do the same kind of like percentage increase like you saw over in the UK, because of just a fact that he has that LCS feel, because the setup is not everything. It's also the people behind it, right?
Yeah.
So it's like there's that setup that looks professional, and you've got the person that is representing it, that has the LCS vibe, that knows what he's talking about, that's out there schmoozing and talking with you. I think that is the argument that I would make, that you don't have to be completely corporatized to do something like this. And you also don't have to be, on the exact opposite, just like, I'm not even going to try. I'm just going to set up and I'm just going to expect to make money.
Yeah.
Like, let's be more welcoming, not just, if it's not for the fact that we're going to get more foot traffic, more dollars in the door, maybe it's just because it makes our hobby more legitimate at the end of the day.
It does. It still, though, to me, raises the question of, a lot of times those, local card stores, people that go to all these big shows, you get the guys that don't want to move off their price because they have all of the additional cost of those things. And that setup, wow, you're correct. It's a one-ish time cost.
Yeah.
That adds to your overhead. And those shipping costs and the setup and, the staff that's required to now deal with the bigger booth and, watching all the inventory and all this and that. To me, I thought that you were going the direction of, would you rather the, big national show with the amazing setups and dealers from all over the country or your little local show? And that to me it's a big question.
Those are apples and oranges in my opinion, because I do like going to both. And there
I
are
agree.
reasons why I like and to say that there's never a place where you just have like a table curtain and your cards out on the table.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm not making that case. I'm not saying that that's the situation, because I do like going to like the Nashville show, and that's a very similar vibe. You don't have like those big corporate booths, and it feels almost less intimidating in a lot of ways. But then if I'm traveling for a big show, if I'm going to something like I'm shelling out hotel fare, airfare, all these things, I want to go and feel like, oh, this is something different. This is some kind of fancy event that, something that is more story. I could talk about it with someone else in the hobby and they would find it exciting and interesting, as opposed to like, hey, I went to my local card show. I found some cards.
And it is you're right. It is apples and oranges. But to me, the big card shows, the National Fanatics Fest, etc., those shows are less about the like transactions and buying and selling of cards, and more about the like business of the hobby, the
so
experiences.
If it's more business, then it's more expo-ish, which means they should have better setups.
Yeah.
So you're agreeing that they should all have better setups, and everyone who doesn't is wrong.
Whatever you say, Joe.
No, okay. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you for your takes, Alex. I love to have these conversations because you're great at like the devil's advocate, because there's a lot of things like I want to be devil's advocate on, and sometimes some people get a little more excitable and it's hard to share some of those opinions. Not anybody you've ever heard of.
No.
All right. So I think I only have like a couple things. Then we have the mailbag.
Great.
I think the only other thing is, what should Panini do now? I just wanted to, you said you had some thoughts on it. Any comment? Because obviously we know like they're
exploring the sale and whether it sells,
what
they're going to do. Yeah.
And the point that I think Mike had kind of brought up earlier or on another episode, was that the sale might have been in a response to like one of the brothers, their Panini brothers that owned it, passing and things like that. So it may not be like, they're trying to get rid of this dead fish. It's just like, hey, the family dynamics, whatever has changed, we're trying to get this to someone who can maybe really push and fulfill, while Panini America may have very little change involved in their day-to-day. So then if that's the case, what do they do now that licensing is different? Do you go the path of continuing to push out non-licensed if they can? Because that's been an argument made that maybe that's not the case because they don't have the Players Association deals. Or do you try something completely different? Because they still have like their NFT side is still pretty popular. It's thriving. Like back in the day when we were doing a lot of sponsorship with the NFT side of Panini, I had tons of Panini packs. I would do like lives opening and all that stuff. And I've been on there. I still try and buy some packs sometimes, and I will sell some packs. Like I get alerts all the time, like, hey, there's an offer on one of your cards.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they've got like a marketplace that they could push more into. They've obviously done a little bit in the non-sport world, but I'm just curious, did you have any thoughts?
I feel like, so on the NFT side, I mean, you can continue to do that, but you still need intellectual property that you are selling.
Absolutely.
And I think that that's where you run into the challenge is, well, what IP are you creating? And I think that they are, you could have said, okay, go get a Disney or a Marvel or a SpongeBob or whatever. And the problem is that they don't have those. And it then begs the question of, okay, well, what can you make? We know that they still have WNBA.
Yep.
For now.
Yeah.
We'll see how long that lasts. But I'm kind of at a loss in terms of what leagues and or IP they can go and get. And I feel like in the US market, it's going to be, they are going to try and scratch and claw their way to viability as a business, but it's like it or not, it's going to be severely scaled down. And I've had people say to me, well, people are going to still want to chase, if they can still make a card, even if it's not licensed of Luka, because we know that they have the deal with Luka.
Yes.
Like, still, you can still get a Luka Kaboom in 2028 Panini, whatever the heck product they make that's going to have Luka in it.
It's only Luka. It's a Luka. It's
just Luka.
Yeah, it's only Luka products.
But to that I say, well, do you care at all about Upper Deck Goodwin Champions with Michael Jordan cards?
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
If you were to ask somebody, when is the last time that you went and you chased a PMG out of 2024 Upper Deck Goodwin Champions, the Michael Jordan PMG? I know they probably still do decent numbers.
Yes.
But it's not what it would be if Jordan was in a
licensed
Bulls uniform, photo of him, like that would be very, very different. I think that it's going to likely go the way of that, where it's just going to be a niche product that's going to have to be super affordable, that there's going to be some cool hits that they're not going to hold the same value, though, because the box price is pretty low.
Yeah.
It's not licensed. Like, I think that it's going to have to go the way of a Leaf, the way of a Upper Deck unlicensed stuff, the way of a Sport Kings or Wild Card, et cetera. And that's not just, there's a space in the hobby for it. Those companies are able to do well. I can see Panini maybe leaning, and I think they're doing a little bit of this, leaning really heavily into the like NIL world with like college athletes.
Yeah, they've definitely been doing that.
But at the same time, we know that their revenue is going to tank.
Yeah, what do you do with all those NIL deals when you don't have like enough other people to put into these products that people want to buy?
Can you compete when it comes to those NIL deals? You don't think Topps is going to say, hey, I want to get this guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, yes, Panini right now, they have Arch Manning. He is an athlete that is popular. I know he's had his ups and downs this season, but he has the Manning name, popularity, etc. You don't think that they were able to sign him and do that while they still had the NBA and NFL licenses and still were raking in cash?
I've viewed it as almost like some of those NIL deals are like investments. Like It's like, hey, we're going to buy it up so that Topps can't buy it up, and then they can come to us and offer us some crazy amount of money.
But that's also going to run out at some point here.
Sure.
And when it comes to going after the next big guy, the next big quarterback prospect that is the generational player that's going to be the next Brady or whatever, you really think that Panini is going to be able to compete if Topps wants that player? And let's be honest, if it's an elite prospect, Topps wants that player.
Yeah,
so
that's a good point.
I think it's going to be a struggle for Panini. I don't think they're going to go away holistically, but I think it's going to look very, very different.
Well, but I guess I'm thinking too, like, if that's the case, if they can't make a product that is non-licensed, that means Leaf probably can't do it either. Leaf's bread and butter is putting out non-licensed sports products. Mm-hmm. So if that were the case, I feel like we would already be hearing about this. Like, I honestly don't know if that will be a thing, because why aren't we already talking about that? Like with Leaf and Panini and anybody else would probably be putting up a huge fuss. Like, hey, now we don't have the ability. Now that really is a monopoly, because they've taken away our ability to make products that people care about, like that are desirable, because there's no uniform products. So my thinking is, I'm hoping that's not the case, just because I want there to still be diversity in the hobby. I want there to be options that people like, just like there have been while Panini's had licensing and Topps has been putting out non-licensed stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of cases that a non-licensed player doesn't sell as well as the licensed one, and it'll be the same when Panini is in that same boat where they're getting the non-licensed product. But at least there's something. There's something that's maybe more affordable, something that, a lot of guys reach out and they're like, I love this product, but it's just too expensive. I can't afford that. So I wanted to rip something with my kid. So I went out and bought a box of Leaf or whatever the case was, and I had a lot of fun with it. So I want there to be those options. So I'm hoping they continue to do licensed or non-licensed product. I hope that's still an option for them. And if it's not, it feels bleak to me, because I don't know what you do. I think they will be. I just think it's going to look very, very different. And I think that people are going to, in the same way that look at how Leaf is viewed within the hobby. And Mike has talked about it a lot of, you have brought up the question of Topps unlicensed versus Leaf unlicensed. And Mike has said, well, yeah, Topps is a brand that has its foundation in the hobby. Sure.
Yes, it might be unlicensed, but it is something that, there's a larger history behind Topps Chrome.
Yep. The
Prism
name means a lot more.
Prism, Optic, etc. They have built up some foundation.
For sure.
So there will be, I'm sure, some level of value there, but I don't know how much and how well they'll be able to maintain that. I think that what it's ultimately going to become is exactly what you said with Leaf is, I want a box, but it's too expensive. So I'm going to go rip something that's unlicensed, but that's a massive shift for Panini because they're going to have to go from a $1,000 box of Prism to a $150 box of Prism.
That would never, I don't believe they would ever do it.
It has to happen, though.
I know. But I don't think they would.
Because, as it is right now, you're not getting value out of a $1,000 box, let alone when they lose the license. And the only reason that you're going to open, if you're ripping something for fun, you can easily say, all right, $150, whatever. I'm just going to,
yeah.
It's a risk I'm willing to take. $1,000 for a box when you know that you're not going to make back.
Maybe $150 for a Donruss box. I don't see them ever doing a Prism.
Prism baseball is $150.
They make a good point.
I know.
But yeah, maybe.
I think it's going to have to be. If they're going to survive, it's going to be cheap stuff. It's going to be niche athletes that they have.
Okay.
And I hope that they do.
Okay.
Or I hope that Upper Deck or somebody comes in and buys them or whatever.
That would be very interesting to me. But at the same time, what are you buying other than the
you're buying the IP, Prism,
exactly.
But you're telling me that to the conversation we had last week with, Nonsense on Ice, you're telling me that there wouldn't be a massive jump in the popularity and interest in hockey cards if Upper Deck was releasing Prism in downtowns?
I think that's a good.
It would definitely increase the market cap of the hockey market. So that's why you would go do it.
If you can get it at the right price.
Yes, and it has to be at the right price. Absolutely.
Which
no, it probably won't be.
The rumors that happened, back when Thompson, Panini, there was talks of Topps is going to buy Panini and all this stuff.
And then Panini cooked their books.
Yeah, and it's the rumors were they were asking for some kind of amounts that were not realistic to be purchased at. So who knows? I did want to go on to Mailbag. Before I did, though, I just had one other thing. Topps, Allen, and Ginter dropped. Are you getting any of that? Are you interested in that? As a non-sport guy, that was that's a nice crossover. That's a gateway product. You get it for your baseball, but then all of a sudden, am I collecting X-ray pictures of turtles now? Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a quirky product. It has its place within the hobby, and I'm glad that Topps is continuing to make it because I know that there are a lot of people who do really like it because of its long history. It doesn't do it for me.
Yeah, I get that. I went out to buy. I went out to look on the Topps website, and I just saw it there. I didn't realize it was releasing at the time, and I think it's $125.
It's cheap. It's a very affordable rip.
Yeah.
It's just not something that
last year's product is currently on eBay selling for $220 something, which I was like,
it's a good class,
maybe
though.
Yeah, but it was a better class. That's the argument made. Because I asked Mike, I was like, hey, before I buy any of this, what are your thoughts at $125 a box? Am I gonna just instantly lose money? I think the thought is you're probably gonna be safe at that price, and it's still available. It went live a few days ago, and it's still up there. It has
a super high print run though. That's something that Allen and Ginter is one of those products similar to a Topps paper.
Yes,
Series 1. They just print the crap out of it.
Yeah,
and that's a good thing. You want to have products that are cheap that you can have a blaster for $20, $25 at your local Target or Walmart.
I bought many from Target this last year because I was looking for my Topanga auto that I never got.
Or the SCN 101 that has not been pulled as far as I'm aware.
No, it is not. It's not out there.
But you need some cheap products like that. And so I think it's still in stock because it's a niche product that not everybody's going out and grabbing. Other products, I will go buy a case because I have a use for it for me in the business. Mm-hmm. That's not one that I'm going to do. And that's fine.
I think I buy that one not as a flip. I buy that because it's fun. And it's fun to break on my streams too, where it's don't know that guy, don't know that baseball player, that guy, Jackson Holiday. What? Who is that? Oh my goodness, it's Sean from Boy Meets World. Yes, we're in. It's one of those products that I'm it's just a fun rip.
Okay. I don't have fun ripping it, which is why I didn't buy any.
Fair enough. Mailbag It is that time. We're going to hit mailbag. This is the mailbag from Monday's show.
Love it.
That I promised that we would get back to. They don't all have to do with the fact that we had the eBay vice president on here and Mike was in the room. So bear with as we go through some of these. I do ask for everyone's patience because I'm hoping that is actually applicable to one of the two of us. Let me see. So this one is specifically for Mike. So you're filling in for
I'm
Mike.
Mike now. Yeah.
All right, you got it?
We're the same height. It's fine.
We are the same height. That is neat. Do you know what that's from?
No.
See, Mike would know. And that's where
What is it?
there is
Tell
a
me.
subtle difference. Orange County with Jack Black.
I haven't seen it.
Colin Hanks. The better Hanks.
I'm gonna add
arguably.
it to my. I'm gonna add it to my list to watch right
You've
now.
never seen Orange County. Nope. We are very close to the same age. How old are you?
I am 31.
Oh, yeah, you're younger.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm 30 something. But okay, watch it. It's hilarious. Michael Bayerlein asks, longtime listener, but vintage.
First-time caller?
Alex, if you ever interrupt me like that again, longtime listener, but vintage card collector, how would Gio go about maximizing the value of this Jackie auto? It's a PSA / DNA, or he's asking if he should get it, grade the auto, or he says basically do something else with it. So I'm going to show you. I'm going to put it over here real quick just so you have an idea of what we're looking at. All right. So it's an auto on a piece of paper that just says, it's a completely white piece of paper. It says, best wishes, Jackie Robinson. I like this question because I was like, yeah, what would someone typically do with that? And I have an idea, but I'm curious what you think.
You need to get it authenticated.
Okay.
You need to go, whether it's PSA, JSA, Beckett, etc. Get somebody to, because as is, you throw that up on eBay or try and send it to Golden or whatever, they're going to say, we can't guarantee the authenticity of this, and so the price is going to be significantly lower.
Sure. Yep.
So first and foremost is getting it authenticated. It's a question, given that it's just on like a piece of paper, I don't know that it really having it, I don't know if PSA would put it in a slab. Probably would.
Oh, you don't think they would?
I don't know. I'm not sure, but
I feel like I've seen enough of them out there. I think my thought is well, what do you do with it? Do you just keep it in a slab, or do you try and maybe see if someone wants to put it in a custom card or something like that, or put it in sell it to Topps or somebody who wants to
do a cut auto.
Exactly.
But for Topps, I assume they're going to want it authenticated, which granted, Topps might go and do that work themselves.
Yeah.
I actually think that the best way to probably do it would be, my father-in-law is very into signed memorabilia. He's, he's super excited. He got a big red machine, auto with all the guys on it. Really, really cool.
That's cool.
He was into the Reds at that time.
Yeah.
So he has a bunch of stuff where some of the stuff, it's just not possible to get the actual picture framed, like a autographed picture. Mm-hmm. But you can get a really cool picture of Jackie, him sliding into home, stealing home, and then you have the cut auto at the bottom of the frame, so that it also has a Jackie Robinson auto.
Yes.
That type of thing might work. I think that the custom card idea or selling it to Topps is interesting, but I don't know how you go about doing that. The custom cards, you need to still have that authenticated by PSA or somebody. And then Topps, I assume regardless, you're going to want to get it authenticated. That's step number one.
Yeah. Okay.
So.
All right. That's fair. I like that. Douglas Ray Eckler Jr. says, what do you think the price point will be for Topps Chrome basketball? And do you feel it's going to be a good hold for the future? Here's my question. It already came out.
No.
Price Topps Chrome. Oh, it wasn't Chrome. That's right. Sorry.
Topps,
yeah, just Topps basketball. So it's selling
Topps basketball.
It's $220 for a hobby box or $200, right?
But retail was $110.
Yes.
Because I think that's two different questions. What is resale going to be? Because you hear a lot of people complain about the price of boxes.
Yes.
There's a difference between what Topps sells it at and what the market determines that it's worth.
Sure.
Topps released Topps basketball, I think, at $110 a box. Mm-hmm. Topps Chrome baseball or Topps baseball is $89 a box normally for a regular hobby box, and a jumbo is $180 or something like that.
Yeah.
Given that a Topps Chrome baseball hobby box was $200, so my guess is that a Topps Chrome basketball hobby box is probably going to be retail about $250.
Okay.
Resale, though, that's going to be a big question. And it's partially going to depend on how good the rookie class ends up looking. Obviously, right now, we're looking pretty good with Cooper Flag, VJ Edgecombe, et cetera.
Sure.
There's a lot of, it looks like it's a pretty solid class. Plus, it's the first year of the product. You're going to have LeBron autos and Wemby autos and Curry autos. I think it will be a product that you could buy and stick in a closet and do pretty well with. I have no self-control, so I can't do that.
Yeah, right.
Wax enters the house and it gets ripped within 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But my guess is that retail is going to be $250. I think it'll probably jump up to $400, $450.
Okay.
In terms of resale.
I think that's probably, I was going to say somewhere around double whatever the market price is for paper right now, which is around $220 or so. Stephen Fink wants to know, do you guys have cards in your collections that are your favorites because of their funny or dumb images, not necessarily the value?
I wouldn't say funny or dumb, but I have cards that are my favorites in terms of like the images that are on the card. Like I got it actually signed at this year's National, David Ortiz, his speech after the Boston Marathon bombings.
Oh,
this is our effing city.
Oh, okay. All right.
And he literally had him sign it, and it's inscribed, "This is our effing city."
He says the F word?
He
put it in writing?
He didn't, yeah. He said it on live TV.
Don't you ever post that photo. People will be offended.
So, like, that's a really cool one, and, like, that is a good card because it has him doing the speech. Like, it's not a just standard David Ortiz card with some random image. It's like...
I like that, yeah.
That I like, so...
I'm trying to think. I feel like that's the majority of my collection is like, I like it not only because like there's nostalgia built into it in some way, but the other part of my collection is like, I like it because it's off the wall or weird or fun. Like, I mean, I was just looking at this. I forgot I have like these cards on the people who ever watch this show on YouTube or Instagram, wherever there are cards on the back walls of the studio.
Including one hidden.
There's one that may or may not have put Padme in front of one of Mike's, I think it's a Bill Russell card over there. We won't acknowledge that. But like I've got this Golden Lion Tamarin, which is a monkey. It came out of 2021 Topps Allen and Ginter, I believe. I made a video, like we did a video on one of the SCN channels, and I was going around selling it as like the first $1 billion card because it was a pop one. It was the only one out there. Yeah. So I set the market at it. It was fun, but I just like it has a fun story to it. Yeah. I've got like a Jack Porkins, the guy he's a character in Star Trek, Star Wars. Who recently passed. All right. I didn't mean to besmirch his good name, but I also bear a striking resemblance to this guy. It's become like a thing that now I am PCing Jack Porkins stuff. So I've got some of those that I love. And so there's like, I love my cards that I love the most are not because of their value. In fact, if anything, the most valuable cards I care the least about personally. The cards that I care the most about are the ones that have stories behind them.
Yeah, I agree.
Let's see. Cody James goes along with the Panini questioning. He says, with Panini losing the licenses for NBA and about to lose it with NFL, would you want them to keep making products that they do like they do with baseball and not have logos and only have legend/college players? I mean, that's essentially what we talked about, right? I mean, ultimately, I think it would be good that we continue to have another product out there that's available, more affordable. But yeah, at the end of the day, the more affordability comes with the lack of desirability.
They should continue to do it because it's not going to hurt to the point of if you don't like it, don't buy it. Great, cool. Yeah. Like go print it, make it, and there will be people that like it and buy it, and there will be people that I guarantee you complain about it on the Sports Cards Nonsense Facebook.
I can't wait to see those comments. Yeah. They're going to be so inspirational. By the way, speaking of negative, on Monday's episode, there was a lot of talk of the non-sport cards and all this stuff, and I got a lot of actually. It's so weird because worlds colliding that we're actually talking about non-sport cards on Sports Cards Nonsense, but we also talked about this on Hobby Nonsense this week. So it's a weird crossover. But that being said, there was a lot of hate because of the way I held the card, this 1-of-1 card, because it looked like I was crushing it. I just want everybody to know. Found out today from the guy who bought it, came back, PSA 10. Mm-hmm. You're welcome. Didn't hurt the card. Edges were fine.
Love it.
All right. BJ Kroger. Old Beach, do you think we will see a digital eBay branded or partnered repack product that you can purchase via the eBay app or website? So eBay doing I don't know if they would do their own necessarily.
Yeah.
Because I think they've got their hands full with eBay Live, but I would see them doing something, partnering with somebody who's already doing. I could see that.
Well, Arena Club.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Partner of the show.
I mean, I don't want to put words in anybody's mouth.
They have physical repacks that they sell on eBay.
So I was going to say, if you guys are not already aware, we have a sponsorship with the Arena Club, not to toot our own horns, but that comes with a discount for all you first timers out there. SCN gets you a discount on your first one. Go out there and give it a shot. It is not SCN followed by any other numbers. There's a few people who heard us originally talk about this, and we kind of messed it up a little bit.
SCN.
Just SCN makes it super simple. Yeah. So if you guys want to try that, I can't say who will ever, if that were to be eBay's goal is to make, have their own branded one, I would guess it would be a co-branded. I don't think they would ever do like, this is just the eBay Live repack or whatever the case.
Yep, I agree.
All right, let's see. I think we only have like maybe one or two. Let's see. Dan Wade says, I'm expecting an 89 Griffey, vintage Aaron, and vintage Spawn, SPAHN.
Warren Spawn, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I know. I was just testing you, make sure you know. Back from PSA anytime now. What auction house would be the best to use right now to get the most profit? Fanatics Collect, eBay, Golden. I assume when he says eBay, he's referring to DC Sports consignment on eBay. That would be the only logical option. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it depends on. I would talk to each of the auction houses because I think that I'd stick with probably one of the big ones in Fanatics Collect, Golden.
Yeah,
eBay's a little tough because you have the reach of eBay, but you don't have the traditional auction house like a Golden. Fanatics Collect. Alt is another great one. They do a lot of on their alt auctions, a lot of high end stuff. See what they are willing to do and guarantee in terms of pricing and or like how much they will promote the card for you.
What do you mean guarantee on pricing?
So like one of the things that Alt does is they will give you like a cash advance for some of your cards. So you can scan it actually on their app. This is free promotion.
What are you doing right now?
They're not a partner, but
card
you
letter.
Can
go ahead.
You can scan your cards and then it'll say, we think that your card is worth $1,000.
Yeah.
And we'll give you a $600 cash advance. So
if
they will give
sell
you
it with them.
Yes. So they will give you, and they do this at all the shows. Like I think at this year's National, they gave away like $3 million.
Jeez.
But
does that bring up any questions in your mind of like they're guaranteeing this? Like, is that guarantee just based on good faith, or is there like
I think it's based on. So my understanding is it works that's the money that you get. If you bring a card that they say we think it's worth $1,000 and they give you $600 and the card sells for $500, so be it.
Oh, you're not getting any upside.
You get the upside as well. So like if it sells for $1,000 after their fees and this and that, then whatever you were supposed to make on top of your cash advance, that then gets paid out. Their whole but they will, for some cards, be willing to give you that. So that's an interesting, kind of intriguing option. Okay. But I think you want to most likely, if they are really high-value cards, rely on an auction house because it's going to get promoted. That you want them to... eBay is an amazing marketplace where they do a lot of things.
Sure.
But it's just going to go on eBay and be sold. And while DC will do a little bit of promotion for stuff, they have so many cards that sell... They are not going to promote your card like if it's a high-end card, like a triple logo man situation in the same way that Ken Golden will.
I mean, Ken Golden would go out on social media and post about it, right?
Yes, exactly.
What stops like DC or another company from doing that same thing? Like what are they doing that is...
It's a mix of both the reach. I think that Ken Golden and Golden Auctions have a larger reach on social media.
Okay.
As well as it's a mix of who their buyer pool is. So the average buyer at DC is probably somebody like me. I spend probably a few $1,000s a week with DC in terms of just buying stuff for, my Whatnot auctions.
Sure.
But the average buyer on Golden is a high net worth individual who is looking for investment level pieces, things like that for the most part. And so they have access to those buyers to say like they know who the big Ken Griffey Jr. collectors are. And if it's a really cool, really unique Griffey card, they're going to say, hey, we've got this coming up on auction. You should check it out. And they reach out to those buyers individually. So that's where I think doing a Golden or doing a Fanatics Collect, you are paying them for their buyer pool that they have access to and will market to.
So my thing is, I think you're right in some sense that there are benefits of using some of those auction houses for those exact reasons.
Yeah.
However, some of the downside, because I have experienced this myself with guys that maybe I've pulled a big card for and then sending it off.
Yeah.
Some of the downside is the speed at which a more nimble, maybe not as big promoted card has to get up to auction, as opposed to like without naming the cards or names, since one of the superfractors, not recently, but last year sometime, sent it to Golden. I think we pulled it maybe end of December, early January or something. Yep. Sent it off to Golden. The experience was nice. Like everybody was kind.
But it's slow to get into their auctions.
They were like, well, we got this non-sport. Do you want to do it in the non-sport, show at maybe the end of January? Yeah, that's fine. And it's like, okay, well, we're gonna send it off to get graded, and then we'll do it there. And I was like, okay, well, I guess that's fine because the product had just come out, but we're waiting for this auction. I guess it's worth it because it's a big card.
But then the market changes.
But market changes over that month, and then it also got pushed. That show ended up getting pushed I think it was like another month. From the time we sent it to them to the time it actually went to auction was like 2 months.
And it depends on the card. So like this person is posting about a card, all vintage stuff. Mm-hmm. That's pretty steady from a market standpoint.
Sure.
If you have something that is if you pull the SpongeBob Dash 101 out of Sapphire that comes out.
Or the Waltz one and only, which we did pull and then sent to DC, that's where the benefit comes.
You're right. There is value in being able to get it to market quickly, which a DC Sports can do more easily than somebody like that.
So I think there you go, Dan. Take that for what it's worth. Some different options depending on what you're looking at. My stomach just did the loudest noise. Did you hear that?
I did, unfortunately.
You have headphones. Just to be clear, people, he has headphones on, and he heard it from across his... This is a perfect time to end the show. I think we've done a fantastic job. I'm going to go try not to die.
Best of luck.
That would go me, man. I tell you, I thought I was in the clear, and then bam, it got me again. I'm switching. I think I'm just going to switch. Alex, Clever Cuban Cards is the name of your show on the SCN network. Where else can people find you? What else do you do?
Clever Cuban Cards everywhere,
Or it's Hobby Handbook, actually.
Hobby Handbook, new episode out today, so go listen to that as well. Add it to your Thursday lineup. But
I will.
Yeah, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. I have a video coming out today ranting about PSA offers and people complaining about PSA offers. So,
listen, people, if you're not already watching him, you're one of the few in the hobby who aren't. He's got probably, I would argue, larger following on TikTok than SCN, yes. I think. And there's a lot of people that love the Alex kid. And obviously you get that I'm a big fan because he's here right now. So check out his stuff. Check out all the SCN network shows. And Rebecca, of course, thank you so much. Michael, if you're still listening, which I cannot imagine, he would have just fast forwarded.
No way. Absolutely.
But I appreciate you trying to get on today. I'm hoping the windshield, the hot water, hopefully, you know what? In lieu of hot water, there are hot tubs out there. Maybe they could have just taken a bath in one of those. Yeah. I bet they didn't think about it. See, that's why it's bad that I'm not there. These are the benefits you get with Jesse on your trip.
Mistakes were made.
Great ideas. All right, there you go, folks. We'll see you on Monday. Shep is going to be in the office with Mike and I, and we will have a lot of fun in just goodbye.